Today on JW Adventures, we have a special video where we're going to be reviewing these AEV Prospector XLs. We're going to go through the ins, the outs, even the price tag, which is going to blow your mind. At least it did for me. So let's get into it.
American Expedition Vehicles. Basically, they make a bunch of aftermarket parts with kind of a focus on overland. Obviously, these started their life as Ram 2500s, but they have a full complement of vehicles. They do stuff for Jeeps, Tacomas, Silverados, and that. So we're at Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Riverdale. They're letting us check these trucks out. They place an order, so the order that they place goes from Dodge to AEV. They outfit them this way, and then they send it to the dealership. They put them on the lot for players like us to come look at and wish that we could buy. All right, so we'll go tip to butt, and we'll start at the front. So this is the brush guard, obviously the bumper here. This is 4mm stamped steel across the whole face of it. This is 3-inch tubing around the front and then 2.5-inch tubing around the headlights. According to AEV, it's got accommodations for up to 4 7-inch lights, which I think is what they have installed here. This particular one comes with a 16,500 pound Warn winch, which is freaking sweet. It's not made in China. And these shackles, according to AEV, are 30,000 pound rated. So if you want to pick the whole truck up by the shackles, you can go ahead and do that. The other thing that I think is nice about this is it does integrate with the Park Sense stuff, so you're not going to lose any factory features by putting this bumper on or ordering the truck with this particular bumper.
Okay, so let's talk about the underneath. So they have this big guard around their intercooler, so you have 1-inch tubing, and it's basically a skid plate for the intercooler. And the biggest part of this is it doesn't mess with any of the cooling, so you still get the cooling, but you also have the security of it. On this specific model, you have the hydraulic steering. Well, I guess it's hydraulic steering assist from them, which is, I mean, we have hydraulic steering on the FJ, and it makes a world of difference. Crawling, doing anything off-road, it's freaking sweet. Also, the AEV put their front and rear diff covers on this, which, I mean, look at it, it looks freaking awesome.
All right, so here's the part everybody cares about: how big of tires can you fit? So this one's got 40-inch tires. These are on 17-inch, I believe these are 17 by 10-inch wheels. I'll double check and we'll drop that in there. Yeah, 17 by 10-inch wheels. They weigh 36 pounds, and I think they're load rated for 4,000 pounds. So if you're concerned about using this truck for heavy duty stuff, that might be something for you to consider. And then for the suspension, so this is using Bilstein 8100 shocks on it. It does retain the factory coils, which I thought was kind of interesting. Part of the reason they say they do that is because they wanted to maintain the heavy duty and the payload capacity, so that doesn't change. They do use a spacer at the top, so that's how you get the lift. All right, so in order to accommodate the 40-inch tires, they put these gigantic fender flares on here. They do open up the fender, and this isn't just a typical fender flare. It's actually got some structure to it. This is made out of what you might expect a kayak to be made out of. So these are super solid, very heavy duty. AEV compares them to what Mercedes puts into Unimog, just to give you an idea of the type of strength they're looking for. They say they're better. I don't know about all that, but I know they feel pretty solid. And then the other thing they do to accommodate the 40-inch tires is they actually push the front axle forward about 1.5 inches. So you can see the spacer on the front of the drive shaft. That's a 1.6-inch spacer, and that's how they do that.
So not much different in the back, but they do have the 8100 Bilsteins shocks in the back with the reservoirs. The springs are the same. They kept those stock so you could have the same payload capacity. They did put a 2-inch spacer above the spring. It looks like it just bolts right to the top from the factory, but that's about all they've done to the back.
All right, so the spare tire rack, obviously this is a full-size spare with the same wheels as you have on the rest of the truck. This rack can accommodate a 42 by 1450 tire. If you decide you want to put something a little bit bigger on here, it mounts. If you come around the back, you can see where it mounts to the top of the truck bed. And according to AEV, this will work with most truck toppers. So I guess depending on what kind of cap you're looking for, if you're looking for one, you might be able to make this work. Definitely gonna want to double check that. I have a Lear topper on my Tundra. I don't know that it would work, but if you gotta have it, you gotta have it. It's worth looking at.
All right, with the AEV packages, look at how thick, Steve, zoom in on that. Look how thick this is. That's at least 5/8 of an inch. It's freaking insane. These mud. So with these bumpers, they're all still bumpers, and with it being lifted up as high as it is, your departure angle is unbelievably steeper because of the height of that. One of my favorite parts is this cup holder. Not enough trucks and cars have freaking cup holders. These guys are awesome. It's got a weep hole just in case you drain it. You're good to go. We have the LED lights that are stuck in here. You have your tow hooks integrated into the bumper. You have a place for a backup camera. It's not wired or anything, but at least it's there. And then look at where this tracks down. Steve, if you can look under there, it actually, all of this stuff is bolt on, and you can get it yourself. It's freaking sweet. They put the AEV back rear diff cover. I mean, these are just solid trucks. It looks like they're built unbelievably well.
Sweet spare tire, bro.
Full side. Hey, we're gonna get a Mountain Dew sponsor. Watch.
All right, I'm watching.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Okay, let's. Part of the AEV package is the stitched headrests. They're pretty cool.
Front and back.
So now comes the time for us to ask, would you prefer the red one or the gray one? Let us know down in the comments which one you would prefer. Steve, which one would you want?
Gray.
Dude, I want the red one. I think it looks sick.
All right, so all this cool factor comes at a price. So this truck, just straight from Dodge factory, is a $90,000 sticker. The Prospector XL jumps your price up to $22,875. And then they've got a few more accessories added on, bringing your total to $131,892.
Oof.
So it's not cheap, but it's all about looking cool. All right, so Larry H. Miller was cool or crazy enough to give us the keys. We're gonna take it for a spin. We've got a couple points of reference. Jeremy's got a 2018 Ram 2500. It's all stock suspension. He's also got a 24 Ram 3500 dually, which rides like horrible.
It breaks your spine.
So we're going to see how the ride quality is on this. I've heard good things from the employees here. We're going to take it for a buzz and see how it feels.
Love this power step.
What a girl.
First impressions, you can definitely tell it has 40-inch tires. So the steering is really heavy, but the hydraulic steering definitely helps, but it's definitely stiff. But the ride, dude, I'm honestly pretty impressed. Like, it's smooth. I would have suspected with the 40-inch tires and lift and everything like that to be stiffer. I guess that's why they use the original springs, to keep that kind of cloud feeling. But dadgum, it feels good so far.
Well, the Bilstein shocks are notoriously smooth. So I have 6112 and 5160s on the Tundra, and that improved that ride quality quite a bit. So 8100s, especially on a heavy duty, I mean, it's just soaking it up really nice.
Dude, it really is. It feels great. And you can tell it's quite heavy. Well, heavier than normal, but honestly, it's not bad. It's not bad, Steve. Not bad at all. The brakes feel smooth. Bro, this is quite nice. We're gonna try and do the tow haul exhaust brake auto and see how it slows down compared to the stock tires versus these 40s. The tires whine a little bit, but the gearing, the shifting, the power is great. So the steering is really heavy. It's smooth, but it's very heavy. It's heavier than anything I think I've probably ever driven. I don't know if that's the hydraulic in it or because the tires are so beefy.
Well, it's weird because when I read that it had hydraulic assisted steering, I assumed it was going to be real light, or it would feel really light.
Yeah.
But evidently that's not the case.
Yeah. Dude, those bumps coming out of that drive it's just soaking them up. It's quite smooth. I'm very impressed with how smooth it is. I think we should take it on the freeway real quick and check the acceleration on these 40s. Lasting impressions. Steve and I both feel like it's quite smooth. And again, I keep forgetting that it has the stock coils on it. It's just got blocks for the lift. So, of course, it's going to be smooth. But, man, it feels really good with how tall it is and how big the tires are.
Well, I think the tires improve the ride quality because you got a lot of rubber on the sides.
For sure.
And then you got the big body shocks that I think make a huge difference, too. So it doesn't, I wouldn't go so far as to say this rides as smooth as a half-ton.
Yeah, because it's kind of...
Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
But for being a 2500, I think the ride is exceptional.
It's a good thing we're in traffic, because now we can't really test the acceleration.
I think this would elicit minimal complaints from my wife about the ride quality.
And the steps on the side, that would be good, because I know my wife hates how tall my trucks are. So, okay, we're going to do an acceleration. We're at speed. We're on the freeway. We're going to back up a little bit.
We're only going 53.
Yep.
It's rush hour.
So I'm going to floor it. Floor, downshift, pulling. So it's definitely still good, but it is, you can tell there's 40s on it. When you're at speed and you're accelerating, you can definitely tell that it's got 40s. So it's lacking a little power. I think if they would have done a little better gearing, because what was this one? Three,
I think it's the factory 373.
Yeah, 373 gears. I think if they would have done a little lower gear, it probably would have helped on the high end. But then
you're going to give up fuel
top
efficiency
speed
and everything else with it.
So I see why they did it.
There's no free lunch.
Well, let's be honest. You're not buying this to drag race, right? So
that's what you think.
All in all, I think they did a good job with the high quality products they have. It's exciting that they're lifetime warranted. They're out of Minnesota. I think
there's no tariffs from Minnesota. Not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with what they did and how they did it. I think it's kind of cool with the stitching on the back headrest. I think those are cool. I like that. I like the rear diff covers.
How bad does that tire obstruct your view in the
I can't see
rearview mirror?
a DAM thing. Nothing.
Yeah, there it is, right in the middle.
Yeah. So, but I mean, with trucks like this, you're probably towing a lot.
Guys who drive trucks like this don't use mirrors.
I agree. So, there's no difference.
And actually, this is my first time seeing Jeremy drive without the mirrors all the way out, like a total freaking Dodge bro.
Okay, so we're going to give the half-ton guy a go at this truck.
Yeah, so I drive a Tundra. I just have a small lift on it with, like I said, I have Bilstein shocks, and I'm a big fan of them. I feel like they absorb all your normal bumps and stuff in the road. So I'm curious to see how this is. I drive Jeremy's truck and our work trucks often enough that I think I'll be able to tell the difference.
Definitely.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about the steering. It does feel heavier.
Yeah.
Which, like I said before, it kind of surprises me because I would have assumed that the hydraulic assist, although there are 40-inch tires, so how heavy would it feel if you didn't have that upgrade?
Well, look at the FJ. We have 49s on it.
Yeah, but that's like purely hydraulic.
Yeah, that's true. This is hydraulic assist.
And so I looked on the AEV website. It doesn't really give a whole lot of details. So if anybody knows more about it, feel free to throw that in the comments because I am curious of how that enhances the steering, what exactly they're doing with it. But coming from a guy who dailies a half-ton, I would daily this.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't feel harsh. It doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like it's beating me up. Just normal highway driving. I wish we could take it off-road and see what that's all about. I'm sure there's people who have much better connections than we do. They probably have videos about that. But yeah, I would daily this, no problem.
Okay, listen. If we can get to 125,000 subscribers, Steve, I'm going to buy one of these. The second we get 125,000 subscribers.
So you're going to get 125,000 subscribers.
Yep.
If each one of them sends you $1.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And then, we'll pass it on to the next person, and then we'll send him $1. And then we'll just repeat that until we're in jail.
Let's do that. 125,000 subscribers. I'll buy one of these. If I get to 125,000 subscribers, we get one of these, we're taking it to Hurricane. We're going to go down Sand Hollow trails. We're going to go everywhere in it, and we will do an honest off-road review on it. And everyone knows I'm not very soft and good with vehicles. Bro, we're going to take it on some crazy stuff. So hit that like, subscribe to the channel so you can see more of this.
Right, that rearview mirror does nothing.
Yeah, you can't see crap in it.
The tire just completely eats that whole view up.
It's seriously like driving with a trailer behind you.
The tires, for being 40-inch tires, they're really not that bad. So Robin's car, my wife, she drives a brand new Honda Pilot Trail Sport with the little off-road tires on it. Those are probably about as loud as these are, at least for being brand new.
Dude, they're not bad.
They're pretty quiet for highway speeds. They're not bad.
As always.
I want to take it off-road. I talk about this sometimes with people when I'm talking about the Raptor. It's a cool truck, but what it really is the use case for a Raptor. Because, I mean, it's fast, but if you want to go fast, get a car.
Yeah.
And it can do truck stuff, but not as well as, I mean, it doesn't tow as well as just a regular F-150 tows. So it's kind of this weird, and I feel a little bit the same way about this. So you have this heavy-duty truck, you're going to put 40-inch tires on it and go do some overlanding, which I think is cool, but could you do it better in something like a Power Wagon that doesn't have the drawbacks of a diesel? Because as great as diesels are, obviously they're expensive to maintain. Cost of ownership is a little bit higher on them. It's a heavy-duty, you're not going to be pulling a fifth wheel with your 40-inch tires.
Yeah, definitely
2,500.
I couldn't imagine the fuel mileage with that.
And so that's where I kind of wonder, like, other than the cool factor, which this thing is freaking dripping with, why? And I'm open to hear what people think about it. But would you consider buying something like this, and for what reason? Other than just because you can, because it's cool, and this is America. That's what we do here.
So I'm hoping we get to that subscriber amount, and then we can buy one, and then we can take it out and see if it's worth the purchase, if it's a good off-roader. If not, then I think you're right. I think it would just be the cool factor. Because, I mean, let's be honest, diesels are incredibly heavy.
You could go flex on the poors like me by tools at Harbor Freight. Just park it in there and with your Snap-on toolbox in the back of your $125,000 truck and just hang out.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, that would be the perfect scenario.
I'm coming out with my Pittsburgh socket set. Just feeling bad. Getting in my half ton. The car in front of us is covered in hail damage and it says Hail Cat. That's pretty funny.
So every couple years, Steve's family and my family go to the Redwoods in California. It's about a 15 hour drive. Could you see yourself driving this there?
14-hour trip?
14-hour trip, yep.
I don't know. I don't feel like these 2,500 seats are terribly comfortable. I think from the ride quality, I could do it.
Yeah.
But these seats...
They're pretty stiff.
They're hard.
Yeah, my 3,500 that I just got has... They're quite a bit softer. I don't know if it's because this is brand new.
Every trip in there, just the same.
What? No, they are not.
Identical seat.
You're no way.
It's exactly the same. The entire interior is exactly the same.
I mean, maybe.
It's precisely the same.
No,
dude, we can go to the parts counter and look it up. I guarantee you, it's the same seats.
I'm telling you, mine are. Somehow, at least I don't know. I think mine are softer. I think they're more comfortable for some weird reason.
It's because you own it. Yeah. I don't know. The steering's heavy, but I like it. I feel like it's heavy in a good way.
Yeah.
You feel very connected to the vehicle. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel clunky. It just feels heavy. It's a lot of feedback.
All right, Steve-O, final thoughts.
I think it's cool. I think the fit and finish of everything I looked at is top notch, and you pay for it. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Definitely.
Like Jeremy said before, it's all lifetime warranty parts, which is kind of unique. I haven't really seen that with any aftermarket stuff. The powder coating is all even. There's no gaps. There's no rust spots. I think it's nice. I think it's really expensive. So I mean, if you got FU money and you want just the biggest, baddest truck that you can just go pick up off the shelf, I think this is probably pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, I agree. So I fell in love with it. I'll be honest. I hope we can get to the 125,000 subscribers because I really, really want one. Help us out. Let's get there, and let's get this down to freaking Sand Hollow.
Also, huge shout out to Larry H. Miller. We just called him and was like, hey, can we come check it out? They rolled them both in the shop for us, gave us the keys, let us take it around town. So big shout out to them for supporting the channel and letting us check out these trucks. They're unique. I'd never seen them before.
Yep.
We were here the other day buying a part for another broke Ram that we have. And we saw them sitting outside and wanted to review them. So
if you want to buy them, they're available here at Larry H. Miller Dodge Riverdale. So give them a holler.
So we just got done talking to the GM over here. He said they've got a 25 that AEV has built. They're putting a bow on. They're going to send it out. So we'll do an update video on that. It's got the new transmission and electric steering. So I guess it's going to change the feel quite a bit. So we'll do an update video on that. And also, something I think is worth mentioning is this dealership, the Larry H. Miller in Riverdale, is an exclusive AEV dealer for all of northern Utah.
Yep.
So if you want one of these trucks, or if you want maybe some parts of these trucks and you want to come check it out in person before you pull the trigger, come here. They've got these two on the lot. These are the last 24s they've got, but they've got more 25s on the way.
And the 25, the GM just said that it should come with the camper that's a direct bolt-in to these. So he invited us back in about a month or so to do another review on the 25s with the new transmission, like Steve said, and the electric steering. Hopefully they'll have the one with the camper. I'd love to see it go up, see what it looks like, how spacious it is. But stick around, subscribe if you want to see that, because that should be a really good video.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.
All right, now we got to get back on our own lame, stupid vehicles.
Start again, sorry.
Hey, so we just noticed on the way out, they've got some AEV Wranglers too. If you're interested, let us know. Maybe we can come back, do a walk around of these and see what they're all about.
They look nice.